Mental. This is mental.
This is Tim Bowen with the Steady Trade Podcast. How's it going?
The Steady Trade Podcast, Season 1 prize winners.
I hear you.
Okay. So, hey, Craig, this is Tim and Steven from the Steady Trade Podcast. You entered into Season 1. Hey, how's it going? So, number one, thanks for listening. Really value it. Appreciate you filling out the surveys and being a listener. Just kind of would like to get a little bit of your input before we hand over the prize. Kind of curious, how did you find the podcast? And, how many episodes have you listened to? And, kind of give us a little background as to how you found us.
Yeah. So, oh wow, where do I begin? So I'm the one that's commenting from South Pacific. I want to say that, and I got a lot of time on my hands out here. And
so are you stranded on a boat in the middle of?
Yeah,
are you like a castaway?
Well, I'm
Tom Hanks talking to a coconut or not?
I'm pierside right now with MSD.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later. But so I'm gonna start far back, but I'm gonna fast forward it too. So I found Tim Sykes, and then I found Tim Bowen. And then from there, I was like, wow, this is the platform I need, StocksToTrade. I'm like, this is awesome. Built by traders for traders. I mean, and then ever since then, this is like 4 months ago, I've just been like on your YouTube channel watching everything about StocksToTrade, and then Steady Trade Podcast started. I'm like, oh, sweet. And I watched every episode 1 through 5. And I think I might have watched a couple 2 times in a row just because I was like tied up with work, and then I had to go back, so I just restarted it,
Sure.
And I mean, and Steven, this is our Steven, right? Or Stefan?
Yeah, Steven.
So I found, and then Steven, I didn't know about you, sir, yet, and then I found you on YouTube. And I was like, wow, so he has his trading journey going on. I'm like, this is legit. So, I mean, hilarious. You guys are just together. This is awesome.
Craig, I just we've got you on the line because the podcast for us is it's very much us talking to each other. I wonder, do you have any questions for us now that you get this opportunity to have us both on the line?
Yeah. So one thing I really was in the future podcast, maybe in season 2, was maybe talking about short selling a little more.
Sure.
I haven't done much myself, but it seems to be very profitable, obviously, if you stick with all the other plans to it. But I know a lot of listeners are probably wondering the same thing, planning a short sell trade from start to beginning.
Yeah, I tell you, and first of all, yeah, definitely thank you for that, because you're right. A lot of the comments we've seen when we've talked about shorting in past episodes, we've gotten a lot of people that said, hey, we want more of this. So you're definitely not the only one.
Yeah.
Right.
And I just have to add as well. I mean, I have fights with Tim Bowen about this all the time because Tim Bowen's like uber long. And I'm like, well, all my results are coming on the short side. But honestly, these last few days, shorts have been, everything's turning on them and everything's squeezing them. And really the money is on the long side. I've switched for now.
Yeah.
But,
well, and again, remember the market's always changed. That's one of the things we're going to talk about always is, everything. I always joke it's a lot like fashion, bell bottoms come and go, ripped jeans come and go, whatever, skinny jeans come and go, whatever trend. And short selling will be, at some point, now we've been saying this for about 5 years now.
Right.
At some point, the
market's been
You're right. Yeah. At some point it's going to turn. And that's the beauty of it. If you have this knowledge and you know these techniques, when the market turns, you're ready. So perfect. Yeah.
Yep.
I just want to say two things. One, I didn't realize that Tim followed fashion at all. And this.
Yeah, you're one to talk. We've had about 50 Skype sessions, and I think you've been wearing a tank top and a snapback hat in every single one of them.
It's hot. It's hot in Dubai, man. It's hot. But I'm going to buy new clothes. That's what Tim Sykes said. It was at the conference as well. He's like, why are you wearing the same T-shirt as Italy?
Gym shorts and a tank top. That's it, Steven.
But no, and what I really wanted to ask you is, what was the highlight? What were the one or two highlights from the five shows that you've been watching?
Definitely the fifth one, because after finding both of you on social media and then seeing you guys talking, I think you're in different locations, yeah?
Yep.
Tim was at home and you were at home, Steven, right? So that was cool.
Yeah.
So that was really sweet. I mean,
yeah, just so you know, I mean, you're in the South Pacific. You know, Steven's in Dubai. So yeah, yep.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, if I was over there, I'd still find you, because I might find you. How long are you going to be there? We'll talk later.
Yeah, dude. But send me a YouTube message. I'll talk to you.
Right on. But seeing you guys talking on video, I mean, that brings it all together. I'm like, you know, I already know what you guys look like, but for everybody else, I think it just really brings the video together, and it makes someone listen more. I feel, because hearing a voice might get people sidetracked, but seeing the person then talking really makes you pay attention to the valuable information that's given. So,
Craig, I just want to jump to your prize now, and if you like these evolutions from audio to visual and audio, you might really like the prize that we've got for you. It's quite futuristic. It's quite it's quite cutting edge modern. Would like to think StocksToTrade as a platform will be on there one day. Tim, do you want to build it up? I'm drum rolling. I'm excited.
Yeah. So again, this is actually, you know, I don't know how much you know about it. I mean, I'm a big futurist. You know, I totally believe and I love technology, and man, it's amazing to see the leaps and frogs we made. So what's cool, and I want one of these to actually play around with to see if we would get there with trading, but you won the Oculus Rift VR bundle.
Nice. Wow. I mean, that is totally a futuristic thing, like VR, virtual reality.
Now again,
my gosh.
Well, cool. That's so you had an interest in that prize. So
totally. I had an interest in even the Tic Tacs. My wife would love those when I came home. She'd be like, French press. You know what I mean? So, that's awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I mean, that means a lot. It really does. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
That's cool. All right, I just want to add, just before we go, I guess, just hopefully we'll work on the next evolution of the Steady Trade podcast, and we can come to you in virtual hologram format, maybe.
I mean, it's totally coming. I feel it. It's coming. Oh man, I'm stoked.
The Steady Trade podcast will return with new episodes and new prizes November 6th, 2017.